Okay, cool. I'm Emily, and I'm always learning. I'm always growing. Something that a professor told me my senior year of college was, hey, make sure you're dedicated to being a lifelong learner. And at first I was like, okay, cool, lifelong learner, whatever. But then as I've gotten older, I've realized if we're not growing, we're being stagnant. And if we think we've arrived, usually we're pretty cocky. And so I don't want to be any of those things. I want to grow. I want to be more like Jesus. So that's where this vlog series came out of, called Always Growing. And so I just want to get on here each week and kind of share some things that the Lord is teaching me. And not that I'm an expert, not that I know what's actually happening, but the Spirit is active in my life. And so I just want to share it with you guys. So this is Always Growing. If you're at all familiar with the Enneagram, I'm an Enneagram 8/7, which is in high energy, and the 8 is known as a challenger. But before I even knew what my Enneagram was, I knew that I loved truth. I love speaking truth. I love learning truth, which kind of got me in trouble a lot, not gonna lie. In high school, I had a teacher, Mr. Anderson, shout out, and he would call me the filter, not because I had a filter, but because I did not have a filter. As I've grown, I've realized, okay, just because I want to live an authentic life and speak truth, if I don't do that with compassion and love, I mean, it's not going to be taken the way I intend it to be taken. And so Paul actually, my boy Paul, actually talks about that in Ephesians 4. What does it say? Let me read it so I don't misquote the Bible and, get in trouble from God. Just kidding. Ephesians 4:25 and 28. It says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building up others according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." He speaks before those verses about putting on the new man and taking off the old man. And so I guess part of putting on the new man and taking off this old sinful man is watching what comes out of your mouth, which is something I'm still learning. I don't ever want to sacrifice loving someone at the expense of my harshness, not truth, because I think there's a difference. My inability to use truth in a way that can convict, can challenge, but the way I say it really does matter. And so I guess the question is, do your words build up or do they destroy? Because I know I'm guilty of both, multiple times a day, probably. Just ask my best friend. She's probably like, bruh, you are not building up right now. So I guess that's like my challenge, not only to you, but to me. So watching your words, do your words bring life? Do they bring death? And just being sensitive to the Holy Spirit. Sometimes it's okay not to say something. Something that I'm learning is maybe just don't talk, because the old cliche, you have one mouth and two ears. That wasn't like an accident. God was like, oh, created you. Dang it, I forgot that extra mouth. No, he knew what he was doing. He was like, yeah, hey, maybe listen up a little bit better. Anyway, so that is what I got for you. Okay, one more thing. I think we also have to remember that the condition of our heart also determines our words. And so if I'm feeling hurt or angry or bitter, I can take that out on someone with my words, even though it's not meant for that person. Maybe I'm alone in that, but the condition of our heart matters with anything else. And so as we check our words, we first have to check our hearts. So once again, you're not alone in that. I'm not alone in that. I know that. And so let's just love one another today and watch our mouths so we don't be popping off to people. Anyways, okay. Peace.